The Arc MIDI R2 by Fractal Design features massive airflow and highly flexible liquid cooling support. Click now to learn more. Welcome to part 2 of Ghetto Shield. The Ghetto Shield device has now been completed, so we'd love to give you guys a tour of our setup, but first, Slick, why don't you walk through the process of creating the Ghetto Shield?
Okay, so what we used for the metal on the back was actually just an old side panel that I had laying around. And just grabbed a Dremel. You can do it with like snips or a Dremel or.
In fact,
really
I think we'd recommend you do it with snips.
Probably do it with snips. Just cut out a shape. For us, the easiest one was like a really simple T. It will probably be the easiest if you just do a really simple T. You'll be able to just hand bend it, so don't even worry about that. It's ghetto for a reason, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, just chuck it in a vise and then use that to hold it in place while you just bend it.
While you bend it, and then at the almost same time, you can use epoxy. You epoxy it to the battery pack so that you still have full functionality of your controller, and you can just buy another battery pack insert. So you can use this just normally for your Xbox, or you can use it to be the Ghetto Shield. So then once you have all that bent in place, you're going to grab some Velcro, cut a strip that's about the length of the T on the back, and then just put the gritty side on here and the fuzzy side on here. So if you want, you can use your phone case, although honestly, I'd recommend...
Another option we had was getting like a throwaway phone case.
Yeah.
So you can clip the phone in and out. But then if you use a case anyway, having the fuzzy side of the Velcro really isn't that bad. I've had this on my phone for like a week now while we've been working on this, and it hasn't really bothered me that much. So
Yeah. So honestly, the best, if you wanted to use this a lot, probably just have a permanent phone case for it, but it works this way as well.
Okay, so then the app.
Then the app. So the app is called Splash Top.
It's free.
It's free. You need the mobile version, the mobile personal version on your phone, and then you need the streaming version on your desktop. They're both free, really easy to install, and don't come along with any adware, so that's actually quite nice. And then it is tuned more to work for 800 by 600, not Shield, which is awesome resolution.
Well, we tried 1280 by 720, and it worked, and it was somewhat playable if you're playing a game like a driving game that doesn't really rely on twitch reflexes.
Oof,
but
you're gonna get flacked for that.
Okay, well, if you're playing like an arcadey style casual driving game. However, for something like a shooter, 800 by 600 was much more responsive. So we'll show you guys a real world demo of what that looks like. So okay, hold on, I'm gonna go back. So I'm actually controlling right now. So through this dongle right here, which is just a regular Xbox 360 wireless dongle for PC, if the game doesn't support full screen windowed mode, it's not going to work with Splash Top.
It will. It will. You just run windowed mode, and then you have stupid UI things, which is annoying.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
you should probably find something that works full screen windowed, but it will work if you can at least run it in windowed mode.
Okay, so let's go ahead and sort of showcase. It's combat worthy. Now, it should be noted that this is not a drop-in replacement for a Shield. Shield has a custom UI for launching games. You may have noticed that our computer here has to be running at 800 by 600 in order to get this working, whereas Shield allows you to just stream from that desktop without funking up all of your settings. It doesn't have the same kind of battery life as Shield. It doesn't have the same kind of battery life as Shield. You're just using the battery life of your phone. And of course, there's this sort of whole clunky solution, but there are some advantages. Number one is you can use an NVIDIA or an AMD graphics card. Totally doesn't matter. In fact, even for NVIDIA graphics cards, you have to use Kepler with Shield. Whereas with this, you can use
anything.
Whatever you want.
It's just grabbing the image that's on your desktop. It doesn't care what your graphics card is, which is quite nice.
Which is very cool. So I'm actually playing right now. Here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move over here. So you guys can actually see what the gameplay experience looks like somewhat here.
We'll do a side-by-side comparison to show the latency, which is actually quite minimal in this setup. So we have a fairly optimal game, which is running full screen windowed like we were talking about previously, and then 800 by 600. It's pretty nice.
So the other cool thing about our implementation is that one of the advantages of Shield is it has a really good wireless solution. Well, we're using wireless AC because the HTC One happens to support wireless AC. If you have a Galaxy S4 or an HTC One, they both support this particular standard. So we are able to get pretty reasonable, there you go, there's a jump so you guys can see what that looks like. So we're able to get pretty reasonable throughput. Although, like I said before, 1280 by 720 really didn't perform well enough that I'd call it usable. Now, I'm not a great first-person shooter player when it comes to controllers anyway, but I think there's some baddies coming. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom.
So disregard the misses.
Yeah. Assume that the misses are because I can't aim, not because it's too laggy to use, because it actually isn't. It's very cool. So don't think of this as a replacement for Shield. Think of this as more like...
a tester to see if you like it.
Yeah.
See if you like the idea.
Instead of spending $300, spend $3, like including the cost of the glue to make the thing, and find out if it's even something that you'd care about.
And it's kind of a fun little project. It was fairly entertaining to cut a side panel and strap it to a controller and play a computer game on my phone.
And this all assumes that you actually have an Xbox 360 controller in the first place, which not everyone will. We figured there's probably a way to get it working with a wired one using an on-the-go cable.
That will work, but you will only be able to play Android games for now.
On here.
There's a new thing of streaming software.
I forgot to point
Right.
out that sound is streamed as well from the PC.
And you can have it come through the PC and you're playing on here. So if you're in the same room and you have a nice sound system, or you can just push it to the phone, or there's tons of different settings. There's another program that people are, it's a single guy, is working on. I can't remember the name of it right now and don't have it brought up, but it is going to be able to send controller input through the phone to the computer and do the same type of dealy. So eventually you'll be able to have a wired controller plugged into your phone through an OTG cable and then be able to play games without using this somewhat fairly difficult to use dongle.
So there you go, guys. That is Project Ghetto Shield. Thank you, Slick, for making this possible.
No problem.
It's actually kind of cool.
It works surprisingly well. I'm happy with it.
Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos. Don't forget to comment on this video. Let us know what you think of the Ghetto Shield. And don't forget to like this video if you think Slick has fantastic hair. Or dislike it if you don't like his beard.